everybody. This is Cheryl Wilson. I'm coming to you from New York. I'm a student at Full Sail University for Digital Cinematography Bachelor of Science. I'm here live recording with Jason Satterland. He is the owner and I guess the director and producer of Big Puddle Productions. I'm a fan of his work and the things that I've seen, and he's here, and I'm going to have him introduce himself.
Hello, I'm Jason Satterland. I'm a film director. Big Puddle Films is actually the name of my company. You can find that on bigpuddlefilms.com. I've been directing feature films, music videos, commercials, and the like for almost 20 years. And I do a lot of work in the independent world, which, if you know anything about that, you kind of have to do all the jobs. So I've done cinematography and editing and writing and producing, directing. But directing is primarily what gets me up in the morning.
What do you see in this role of the Visual Arts Society today?
Well, it's actually an exciting time to be in the business because, back when I got started, cameras and things like that weren't as readily available to younger students and things like that. It was much harder to get your hands on a camera and to get anything that looked good. Lower end, people on the bottom of the totem pole had to use like SVHS and things like that, and it looked low quality. It didn't look good, and unless you had a big budget, you couldn't make your stuff look that great. Now, cameras have come way down in their price, and you can shoot great-looking stuff on an iPhone, and you don't have to pay to put it anywhere. Web series and vlogs and all these, with YouTube and with all this stuff coming out now, you can get your stuff out there for free, and it's really exciting. Like, it's no longer the barriers that used to be in the way of aspiring filmmakers are no longer in the way, and you can live anywhere you like.
New communications and media technologies make imagery almost instantly available. Do you believe this is having a positive or negative influence on your field or industry?
When I moved to Nashville several years ago, back when I first got started. And when I moved there, the same thing happened in the music industry that is happening now in the film industry. Back then, you had all these large studios they'd have all these recording decks. Well, all of a sudden, it shifted where you could actually record music on any computer. They started putting in cards in computers, and Pro Tools came about, and all of a sudden, you didn't have to go rent the expensive studio spaces. Anyone could record albums in their bedrooms. What happened then is the market got flooded by music. Anybody could put out an album all of a sudden. But what happened is it eventually stabilized, and the good artists rose to the top and came up anyway. And that's exactly what's happening now. On the negative side, the market is completely flooded with people making films, and so it's harder and harder to stand out. But that puts the onus on each of us to really work hard to make sure you stand out.
What popular images do you see that are frequently repeated throughout the industry?
It tends to go in seasons. Actually, oddly enough, what I see a lot of visual effects that are repeated over and over and over again. If you look at Video Copilot tutorials, you'll see them used 100,000 times in everybody's short films, to an almost comical degree. The easy tips and tricks, to the untrained eye, they look great. Like, for example, a bullet hit or something, or a cool text effect. You'll see that used over and over and over. But if you're familiar with these techniques, you'll see that a lot of times the filmmakers are just phoning it in. You'll see that they took the tutorial and just kind of changed one or two things and applied it to their craft, rather than taking it, making it their own, and making it invisible in their own project.
Who is your favorite visual artist, and what is your favorite style of visual art?
When I was a kid, Steven Spielberg had released E.T. and Close Encounters and Jaws, and then Indiana Jones came out. Those are all out when I was growing up. And I still have a deep love for the kind of magic he created in cinema. And the closest thing that's come to that since childhood has been what J.J. Abrams is doing.
How was your knowledge of famous artworks influence your creative process?
And when I think of famous artwork, I think of all the art forms, music, paintings, and the like. And the more I learn about these different art forms, the more I find that my craft changes. And
Well, thank you, Jason. We have come to the end of this interview, and I truly do appreciate it.